John Weber in the Lowcountry with this week's edition of Lowcountry Connect. We try to shoot videos that shows you what the lifestyle and the culture is down in the Lowcountry. And if you're interested, today I'm with Scott Frieden, who has a company called Hindsight Inspections. And I'm going to interview Scott. He's going to talk all about it. Are you okay with that? We're going to coach him through it. So anyway, if you're interested, stay tuned. Okay, here was Scott Frieden, Hindsight Home Inspections, and we'll start with, where are you from?
John, I'm from a place called Ohio, Northeast Ohio, graduated from Akron University.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm a zip. Not sure what a zip is, it's a zipper. Kangaroo.
That's
Go
their
figure.
mascot?
That's their mascot,
Okay.
It's a kangaroo.
So when did you move down here?
Roughly 2001, so I've been down here for quite a while. I was fortunate enough, my family built a home in the 60s on Hilton Head, so I've always been coming down here.
Okay.
Familiar, I remember the old bridge, as a matter of fact.
The old bridge.
The old
Wow.
bridge, the swing bridge.
Well, you told me that you got into the financial services.
I did. After the military, which is a tough transition to civilian world, I decided to go into financial services. So it's a long road, it's a tough road, it's a difficult one to manufacture your clientele base. I decided to go into a different field. It was just a little distasteful for me. So I had a small background in the, the repairing the homes, flipping homes, that kind of thing.
Right.
So this was a good fit for me. And I love to try to please people and help people. So education is a big part of the home inspection portion.
And you worked with your dad, flipping
I did.
houses?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Was that down here?
It was in a different area. It was up in Ohio as well. I did start with him down here, my business, but unfortunately he passed away a few months after we started.
Okay.
So
All right.
landed on me.
All right. The home inspection companies down here, I mean, there's a lot of business for you guys. And can you just talk about how, I mean, we refer clients to you.
Correct.
And then do you contact the person directly and get a credit card, or how do you do that?
So we typically send a welcome email, and that email, it doubles for a few things. It's an introduction, explains what exactly we're going to be doing from top to bottom, and walks everyone through that process.
Okay.
And then attached is a pre-inspection agreement. And that is state required, and kind of tells what the state of South Carolina requires of home inspectors.
Okay.
Not what we are restricted to, but what the minimum, the very bare minimum what we need to do. So after they have a chance to read through that, they sometimes will reach out to me, and that way I can coach them through the rest, answer any questions that we have. If not, the payment is never, I don't take payment at all until that job is finished and complete.
Okay. And do you charge per square foot?
That's correct, yeah. So it's a base per square footage, and it goes by 500 square foot increments.
Okay.
And then there are, I'm transparent with my fees. So if there's a gate fee, for instance, this community has a $15 gate fee, I put that on that email, and I explain to them there's that fee. There's tax included. So that's all broken down. They can see the entire thing. If they have questions about it, and they need to call and just reach out and say, please explain this to me.
And about how much is it for maybe a $3,500 square foot house?
I would say in the neighborhood, I'll just call it a flat $400.
Okay.
There's other services that we have as options as well that we charge a little bit for. Thermal imaging is a newer.
Oh, okay, for the stucco.
Exactly. Well, not just stucco, but that's a great point. Yeah, so it's been used for stucco for quite a while here. Thermal imaging, as far as I know, myself and my employer are the only certified thermal imagers here in the region. So
To see if there's moisture there.
Moisture behind the walls is a big one. Insulation in the walls.
Okay.
If you don't have that technology, how in the world are you going to know?
Do you use that on a regular home inspection?
I do, and it's included if the client does not decline it. So
Okay.
there's an option for them to read through it. And so I include it right off the bat. And if they say, hey, I don't want that, no big deal. Just reach out, either email or call, and it's done.
And you have a drone too.
I do use drone technology.
Yeah.
So a lot of the roof inspections, you should know we are not supposed to climb on a roof ever. We're not supposed to. There's a caveat. How are we supposed to get a good look at the roof unless we climb on it, right?
Really?
So that's right, because you can damage a roof every time you get on it.
Okay.
So what the drone is used for is the aerial aerial inspection, which will give me indicators if I do need to get on that roof.
Okay.
So if there's a single deficiency that I see via drone, I'm getting on that thing and I'm checking that thing thoroughly.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Do you see a lot of problems with roofs?
Absolutely. So
just the damage to the shingles?
There are a lot of different deficiencies on a roof, especially here regionally. We have a lot of variables that we have to deal with. Namely, the sun and humidity is the biggest factors that can really hurt the roofs. And then we have the hurricanes that we have to deal with.
Right.
Also, we have hail. So there are a lot of different issues that come through. Neglect is another one. People don't think that they have to maintain the roofs. Well, we do. We have to maintain them. You want to get them cleaned every so often. You do want to go up and you want to seal fasteners, i.e. metal nail heads.
I see it on every single report that I have reviewed. Honestly, there's always exposed fasteners.
That's right, exactly. Almost always.
Okay.
So those periodically degrade and we have to get back up there. You wouldn't think it, but the gutter system, if there is a gutter system on the house, that's a big, big problem if they're not maintained.
Yeah.
If there's debris caught in there, then that water can overflow and get into the soffit area and create internal damage to the house.
True.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are all roof issues. We definitely, that's one of the 4-point inspections. You have the roof, the HVAC, you have your electric, and the structural.
Okay.
4 points.
Okay. Now, you've got 4 points, but you go into everything.
That's exactly right. Yeah, the 4-point inspection is for insurance.
Now, when you say structural, what do you mean by that?
Well, anything that's visible. In a lot of cases, for instance, this house behind us, there's not a whole lot of structural that we can see unless we're in the attic. There is no crawl space. This is on slab on grade. So structural is going to be, if we can get to a crawl space, that's where we're going to see what we refer to as the bones of the house, right? And that's a big area. That's one of the more important areas because those are going to be the more serious and significant deficiencies that, I hate to say deal kill, but some clients may want to walk away if it's going to be a big issue or headache. So that's the 4-point inspections are kind of separated, and you do have to be specifically certified for a 4-point. They're required by insurance carriers a lot of times.
Oh, really?
That's right.
Okay.
In order to just for lending and insurability.
Yeah.
So I don't do a ton of those, but those are the main components of a home. To have a thorough inspection, of course, we want to start all the way at the top and go all the way down to the bottom.
You called me one time, you were inspecting a house in Port Royal, and you called me midway through your inspection and you said, we got big problems here.
Yeah.
Which is very rare,
right.
Isn't it?
It is.
You don't really call the agent and say that very often.
I don't, no.
So that particular deal didn't work out, but still, I thought that was nice that you called me. What other things about an inspection? How long does it take you?
Depending on the size, if it's just me, for instance, this house here, I would imagine
That's
is
a big
about
house.
About 4, maybe 5,000 square feet. I would allot 3.5 hours.
Okay.
Now the time of inspection really is determined by what do I find? Is there a lot wrong? Is there just a few things wrong? If I have my other inspector with me, then obviously that time is narrowed quite a bit. The big deficiencies we're going to see here locally, polybutylene is a
poly pipes.
It's a water distribution pipe that no longer is used. It's still found.
Down here,
it's
for sure. It's found all over the country, really.
It is.
So tell us about the poly pipes, because everybody's got questions about the poly.
Now, what the heck is polybutylene?
Yeah.
Well, so for a visual inspection, it is a gray water distribution line, right? So if you see gray, that's suspect number one. The actual stamp on it is DD-3309, okay? So if you see 3309, now you have to call somebody.
Okay.
And so it's not considered a deficiency currently.
Right.
There was a class action lawsuit or several large class action lawsuits that are no longer still in action. So that's why it's not considered a deficiency. The problem with the polybutylene are the fittings, not the material itself, but the fittings have been known to fail. And there are two different kinds of fittings. We have brass and copper.
Right.
Really, this goes back to the lending and insurability. They want to know if it's there, first of all, how much of the polybutylene is used for the distribution and what the fittings are.
Yeah.
So at that point, all I do is educate the people what that thing is, the buyers, what is polybutylene, and then I tell them you need to talk to a professional, either plumber, or the better way to go is talk to a really good realtor or broker, because they are on the ball, and that's what you're here for, right? To guide your clients through.
But still, a lot of people live with poly pipes, but we tell them usually you're okay with the fittings.
That's right. That's right.
Because there's plumbers that live with poly pipes.
Absolutely. So me personally, is my I could not care. If it's polybutylene, so it's polybutylene. I might have to jump through some hoops with the insuring and lendability, but I have a very small percentage of the homes that I see actual water issues with polybutylene.
All right. Well, that's
under
good.
2%. It is good. It's great. So it's not as scary and daunting as it may seem at first glance.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do your inspection. You find things that are wrong or deficient, and you prepare a report and you send that to the buyer.
That's correct. Yeah, if the buyers cannot come to the inspection, which is a large majority of the time, then they get that report the same day as the inspection.
Okay.
And that a lot of times does help with the contingency period. Sometimes it's a narrowed contingency period, which brings me back to, if you can attend the inspection, I highly encourage you to do that.
Okay.
If the buyers can be there. It's just a lot of times we can convey things a lot more clearly verbally than in the report.
Okay. And in that report, you have an action report that can turn into an action report. Is that right?
That's right. So the software that we use is, number one, is proprietary and encrypted, but it's very user-friendly. So not only the representative of the buyer, but the buyer themselves, they can click a button and compile a repair request list and send that to whoever the heck they want. It could be a contractor, it could be a neighbor, a family member.
Yeah, I work with them on the list.
Exactly. So it's pretty easy.
And I usually, when I get that report, I send it to the listing agency immediately, so I don't want to blindside them. Here's the report, have at it.
That's it.
And then I get with the buyer and we decide what needs to be fixed. And then you're there if they want to call you and just explain this or that, right?
You got it. So in case in point, we offer lifetime consultation. So not only do I encourage you to reach out to me to answer any questions, but use me as a resource for the duration of the ownership of that home.
Oh, that's great.
Absolutely, yeah. So any advice, they need a specialty contractor, anything about the home they don't understand, maybe something in the report wasn't clear.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's
I'm
big.
not sure everybody does that.
That's right.
So you may have some lifetime friends.
I try.
Yeah, right. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell the people in YouTube land?
Well, I would say in the current situation that we're dealing with, I'm seeing a lot of as-is inspections or sales, and they're waiving the inspection. That doesn't mean you can't get one.
Right.
That means it just doesn't have a bearing on the contract. Am I right?
That's
okay.
right. Yeah.
So it's a big investment. If I'm dropping $1 million on a home, I want to know what's wrong with it. Yeah. Even what's not wrong with it. I want to know everything about that house, and that's a big portion of the home inspection.
Good. Okay. I'm going to put Scott's information below in the video, and you can feel free to contact Scott, telephone, email, anything you want. We'll have it down below. And I thank you very much for sharing knowledge.
Absolutely.
Because we do it every day.
Right.
And we use Scott a lot, the John Weber team does. So thank you very much. And
my pleasure.
We'll see you around the old house.
Thank you, John.
Okay.